Doesn't happen in a household full of 7.
Yeah, really? All right. So we are recording. Welcome to our Threads of Wisdom discussion. This is week 6. And before we begin, let me introduce to those who may not know who we are. I am Lola Stardust. I am the High Priestess of Children of the Crossroads in Spokane, Washington. And this is my husband, Silenus. He is High Priest. Our coven is affiliated with the Aquarian Tabernacle Church. We are a 501(c)(3), I always get it wrong.
501(c)(3).
501(c)(3) nonprofit organization. And we also have a YouTube channel. We do Witches and Wine and all sorts of fun stuff. So let me explain what the Threads of Wisdom is. The Threads of Wisdom was created by the Golden Thread Grove in Idaho. It is a teaching tool for your year and a day pagan basics. Each week that you attend, you will receive an image of the topic we discussed. And Golden Thread has requested that these images not be distributed to anyone that has not participated in a discussion on a particular topic. At the end of the year, you will have 52 cards that can also be used as a divination tool. And I always like to show off what we call our Wicca decks, our Catch Them If You Can, Pokemon, Threads of Wisdom. I use them for divination, and they're amazing. And as you know, at the end of our chat, I will post the picture in the chat, and you can download it. And then I take it away so no one else can come in this chat and get it.
If you don't make it here, you don't get one.
You don't get one.
You don't get one.
But you don't get one. All right. All right. So let's talk about this topic. It is the Ordains. So anyone in this group want to tell me what you think the Ordains are? Because here we have a couple listed. So what are the Ordains? So I'm not the only one talking.
The rules.
Yeah, kind of the rules. We don't really, and as witches, we hate to use that word rules.
The guidelines.
It's the guidelines. I hate it personally because I came to the religious belief of Wicca because I was tired of the rules of other religions. So it is the rules. It's to keep things in balance still. What else? What do you think, Zeta? Or I can never say. Can I call you C instead of Sepliknik?
Yeah, you can call me C if you want, or you could call me Cap.
Kev? Oh, Cap.
Yeah.
Cap. I'm gonna call you Cap. Yes.
Okay.
Who else
Marcus just joined us.
Oh, welcome, Marcus. We just are starting talking about the Ordains. Oh, the picture.
Yes.
I'm gonna put the picture up. I always forget this. Are you giggling, Ariel?
Yes, always. I'm one of the inappropriate laughers. I laugh at everything.
Oh.
Well, I think that's relatively normal.
You know that every time I do this, I end up going, technology.
Right, because I've only missed one so far. So.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much. I do the same thing every single time. I'm like, oh.
Week in, week out, it's an adventure.
You'll get better at it. By the time we're done, you'll be a pro.
Oh yeah, all files. Oh, see, this is why I keep my husband around.
But by the time we're done, we'll switch to a different format and start all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Zoom next year. Zoom.
People say Zoom are good. I'm pretty used to Teams though. I'm still learning. I'm old. I'm just not technologically. Did it do it?
Zoom limits you to 45 minutes. And I think it has a cap on how many people can be in there, which wouldn't be a problem in this instance. It's like 15 people, but they only let you go for 45 minutes.
Can you guys see it? Is it being shared?
No, ma'am.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. I'm a pro. Share. There we go. Desktop. That's what I keep forgetting to do.
Okay.
There we go. Yay. Can you see it?
No. Almost.
No.
There we go.
Yay.
Now, it was low. It was like buffering.
Okay, good. I'm gonna
Welcome
zoom in
to
on it.
technology in the time of Mercury retrograde.
Oh God, please no. All right, so let's take a look at the picture and tell me what kind of feelings you get from this picture. What emotions? What do you think it means? All that fun stuff.
Balance and self-reflection.
That's
Oh,
exactly what I thought of. And then I was like, is it a window or a mirror?
right.
I was
Because then it
thinking the
could just
same
be
thing.
alternate views of things or.
Oh, I didn't see the key. Where was
Cap,
that?
Cap, what were you saying?
That
Oh,
was
I
just
was
the
just saying, I was thinking the same exact thing. As soon as you see the mirror, you think self-reflection, and the scales make you think of balance.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the same thing.
I kind of get the you can't hide from your deeds.
Ooh.
Good one.
Wow. Yeah, I like that one. See, I didn't, again, because I am biased and probably didn't teach this one in Threads of Wisdom for a reason when I was doing it at Second Life or at Sacred Cauldron. But I can see that it is self-reflection. I like the thing about you are always going to get your deeds done, and what you do that is fair and balanced. How does that reflect on you as a person?
Well, it teaches maybe some of the threefold concept and the just the returnability aspect. What you send
Karma.
out, yeah, what you send out comes back.
Yeah, it's all those things, because I think it's really important for witches to remember that even though we are, I think, the free spirits and the rebels of the organized religion, we still need to follow certain, and she said rules, but just there are some guidelines to help you balance things, and it's up to us to try those guidelines, and sometimes they don't work, and we'll be out of balance, and
It's the
so
orange speed limit line signs, not the white ones. It's suggested that you do this, but it's not required.
there you go. It's like the speed limit.
One thing that I think is interesting too in the mirror is all the
Yeah.
black. Like it's highlighting that there's shadow there as well. Like
Yeah.
you're never all light. You're light and shadow.
Mm.
And like the scales kind of reflect the balance of that concept because it's like behind it. I don't know.
No, that's great. You see way more in this card than I do. But again, like I said,
Not your fave.
wasn't my fave. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. So there's several things that we are showing here that are part of the Ordains. There's the Wiccan Read. Hi, Agatha. Welcome. Hi, welcome. We just got done looking at the card and analyzing it, and we're going on with what falls under the Ordains in when it comes especially to Wicca, and we're just about to touch upon the Wiccan Read. So, anyone want to tell us what is the Wiccan Read? Let's let our guests see if they. If you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
The way I see it is the Wiccan Read is like it's a poem, and it shows like guidelines for our ethics, and it shows like outlines for our basic beliefs of and it harm none and do what you will. That's like a core belief in our faith. So
Yeah,
it's this really
exactly.
beautiful poem.
It is, and I'm gonna read it to you guys because I love it. I do love the Wiccan Read.
Long form or short form?
Oh,
that.
I think I don't know what form mine is. I just always go to it.
If it's the poem, if it's the long poem, it's the long form. If it's just the and ye harm none, do as you will, that would be the short form. That's all.
It's the long form.
Because some people also call it the Read of the Witch, or the yep,
or the Witch's Read,
or the Witch's Read.
Yeah. I'm gonna read it to you guys because it is really pretty, and there's different versions of it, but I tend to always go to this one. So it's the Wiccan Read or Witches Read. And I'm going to make this bigger because I am blind and I am old, old and blind. I am old. Oh, Jesus, what was that? Okay.
I sing songs about things all the time. That's why I'm like,
yeah. By the Wiccan law we must, in perfect love and perfect trust, live and let live, fairly take and fairly give. Cast the circle thrice about to keep the evil spirits out. To bind the spell every time, let the spell be spake in rhyme. Soft of eye and light of touch, speak little, listen much. Deosil, go by the waxing moon, chanting out the witch's rune. Widdershins, go by the waning moon, chanting out the baneful rune. When the lady's moon is new, kiss the hand to her times two. When the moon rides her, that's a different, rides at her peak, then your heart desire seek. Heed the north wind's mighty gale, lock the door and drop the sail. When the wind comes from the south, love will kiss thee on the mouth. When the wind blows from the west, departed souls will have no rest. When the wind blows from the east, expect the new and set the feast. 9 woods in the cauldron go, burn them fast and burn them slow. Elder be the lady's tree, burn it not or cursed you'll be. When the wheel begins to turn, let the beltane fires burn. When the wheel has turned to Yule, light the log and the horned one rules. Heed ye flower, bush and tree, by the lady blessed be. Where the rippling waters go, cast a stone and truth you'll know. When ye have a true need, hearken not to others' greed. With a fool no season spend, lest ye be counted as his friend. Merry meet and merry part, bright the cheeks and warm the heart. Mind the threefold law you should, 3 times bad and 3 times good. When misfortune is enow, wear the blue star on thy brow. True in love ever be, lest thy lovers false to thee. 8 words the Wiccan Read fulfill, and ye harm none, do what ye will. That is the core of our beliefs. Does anyone want to say what they think? First of all, it's a beautiful poem, right? I love it. It's hard to read sometimes, but
wordsy.
It's a little wordsy. Does anyone want to talk about what they think? An ye harm none, do what ye will.
it's kind of
Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Go ahead, Ariel.
It's kind of like permission, but beware.
Oh, yeah.
You can do what you want, but be careful because there's consequences.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Anyone else want to talk about what they think the Wiccan Read, what that means?
For me, I kind of look at it as the witch's golden rule. Everyone knows the golden rule out there. What's kind of the one that we work with? That, if you're going to put this out there, understand it's going to come back. If you're not hurting anyone intentionally or unaware that you're hurting someone, have fun and do it. Because invariably someone may get hurt, but if your intention was not to hurt, then don't feel the guilt.
Yeah, I think that's and we have to be aware of that because there is free will in what we do. So we don't want to live. The golden rule is a good way, but it's a little too one-sided. It's like treat everyone like oh, and you will be treated like oh, and that's it. That's and it's almost like wait a minute though. You got to take self-responsibility. Own your shit, which we've talked about, and
it kind of comes down to sort of the be the change you want to see in the world and leading by example, rather than it's going to come back to you, but do your walk your walk and don't worry about other people's.
Yep.
As long as your intent isn't to hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have intent, yeah. Remember,
it's also one thing because you get a lot of people in Wiccan and pagan circles where we all talk about this, the Wiccan Read, and you can't harm anyone, but it doesn't say what to do if it should cause harm. It only says that if it doesn't cause harm, you're free to do what you want. If it does cause harm, you have to look at other things.
Yes. Other things. Be willing to pay the price and know what is it worth. Is it worth? There are people who are willing to pay the price, right? And they're still, I think they're still, if they are accepting of the price, they're living the Wiccan Rede. I know witches who do that. You know, I know witches that hex and do darker magic, and I am not against that. But sometimes there's an energy exchange, and it may come back, and if it's willing, and I'm not saying this in a good or bad way. I'm saying magic is like electricity. It's neither bad nor good. It just is. And I think there's that to be said about how we treat others, because again, we do people harm every day. We just don't realize we're doing harm. And that's not our problem. We can't be in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're putting out what you think is the right energy. Your intent, if your idea is to make things better and someone else is hurt by it, you can feel bad that you hurt them, but don't feel guilty that you hurt them, because what you were intending to do is to make things better.
And sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Well, we're so black and white, and it's not black and white.
No, it's not. No, you're absolutely right. There are no, one or the other. Does anyone else want to say anything? I think that's our Morrigan.
That is our Morrigan.
Does anyone else want to say anything on the Wiccan Rede before we move on to the
Marcus,
laws?
That's a really good way of putting it.
You guys, if you read in the chat what Marcus said, I was formally trained.
I always forget to look at the chat.
Yeah,
the action-reaction caused by cosmic sympathetic resonance, like attract like.
Yes, the teachings also teach how to counteract it, but it is not advised. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Yes. Anyone else before we go on to the next
Morgan,
part?
we're talking about the Wiccan Rede.
The part of the any harm none, do what ye will.
I guess I just want to add that it speaks to the laws of attraction, like Marcus is talking about too. It's like what we're sending out there is what we're vibrating, it's what we're resonating, so like it comes back around, it surrounds us. So it's like, do whatever you want, just like don't hurt yourself by, sending out harm.
And if you do send out harm, be responsible to own it.
Yep.
And say, yeah, I sent that out and I'm getting it back.
Well, and be aware that we do that without thinking about it.
Well, can I say something that it's like very embarrassing for me to say, but when I was very new, there was a girl at work and she kept doing stuff to me that was mean. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get you. And I did something to her and it did work. And I saw how it hurt her at work. And I'm not that type of person to hurt people.
Yeah.
And it hurt me to know that I had harmed somebody. Yeah. And so, and that's how I learned that it did come back to me. That's how it came back to me, because it hurt me more to know that I was the person who had caused that to somebody. Like I thought that I was going to be giggling and laughing, but it really harmed me to know that I had been the cause, even though she had been the cause of that to others.
It's the telltale heart. It's the Edgar Allan Poe, or it's you feel guilt.
It's also that do no harm includes yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
You
exactly.
shouldn't willfully harm yourself as well.
Perfect. So we're gonna move on because we're not gonna go over every Wiccan law but we're gonna go over some just to get an idea. So the next
61.
What?
There were 161 when I looked at the ones I was looking at.
Yeah, there's a lot. We're not. Oh, good Lord, no. No.
They break them up based
on your degrees.
Yeah, what degree you're on, because some things aren't appropriate to a seeker.
It's not about appropriate. It's just about learning as you.
Well, they're maybe not ready in their craft for those lessons yet.
Because this is a lot of. I call it the administrative side of Wicca. No, there really is.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a high priestess, and it's a lot of. Everyone thinks that must be awesome. You doing spells and telling people, let's make things happen. A lot of the times, it's all I'm typing up rituals, emailing them out, organizing, making sure complaints, if there's any, are heard, and it's like human resources
The HR department of the coven.
Yeah.
It's the HR department of spirit for people.
It is. So where is that? Did I close it? Because I closed stuff. That's okay.
You have that one. That's all of them.
There they are. All right. But there's also the notes that I have. Here we go. Nope, that's... Oh, Ordains, yep.
Where we're supposed to be.
Okay. So, we have... It's kind of like our ethics. The Wiccan Read is the ethics. Also, the Ordains. They're known as the Ordains, the Ordains, the Book of Wiccan Law. And then there's a new book of Wiccan Law by Galadriel, who took the very dry "Doth Hatheth See If You Want This Now" and made it real simple, like, have what you want and manifest it. She put it in simple terms. I like that one because it's an easier read. No pun intended. Get it? Wiccan Read. Oh wow. So, all right. Here we go.
That's funny.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. It says here in the notes, you can use Ordains to help in your in how you look at what you're putting out there, how you're interacting. It's very much about kind of, again, guidelines, how to make sure that we keep integrity in what we do.
It can also help with disputes. If something is appropriate or not, you can see if there's an ordained that applies to that. And if so, then you can help use that to teach a lesson or make a learned point.
I had a situation in our coven where I had to actually call Mary Malinsky, who teaches Wiccan law at the seminary, and say, is there a Wiccan Read that I can use to maybe make this a learning thing? And of course, because she's brilliant, she found two. Like, she recited them, like, yes, but, and I was like, oh my God, like.
61 and 78.
Yeah.
What?
Wait. Yeah. So that, so we're going to give you an example of, I'm going to read the first one. And I think we'll just do a little exercise. I'm going to post it in chat. And this is just the first one. And this is the Seekers. So I'm not sharing information that's,
we're not
degree sensitive or anything. This is. So I'm going to put it in the chat, and then we'll read it, and we're going to do a little exercise. We've never done this before with Threads of Wisdom, but I think it'll be fun, and we've got time. So that first one. Here we go. These laws were drawn from the old traditional laws of the craft, adapted to the needs of modern times. Know that these laws are time-honored concepts and give them their due. They were made for the Wicca to advise and guide our lives in our relations with our brothers and sisters, as well as those of other paths. These are the laws which shall govern all who follow our tradition. So, besides me, who's taken the class in Zeta, I'm curious to hear from everyone else who hasn't. What can you sum that up in English?
We used old shit to make new shit, and these are the rules that you should use to live good with each other.
Yeah. That's an interpretation, and that's your way of interpreting it. So it's the feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
The basis of our practice goes back a long time, and these are the basic guidelines we have always used.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it expresses that this is another way that we're keeping, the culture of our religion alive by passing it along. It's like in the Wiccan Read when you said, kiss the hand to hard times too. That feels like, that's a cultural kind of traditional thing. So it's not just these guidelines. It's also like the essence of our lifestyle that, is being passed along with it. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Our magic is old, and what we do comes from somewhere that is very ancient, and these laws want to honor that, because if you forget to honor that, what are we just can't forget those. Sometimes they're outdated, and you're going to find a lot of, and I do, for those who have not read them, you can just look them up. I highly suggest looking up The Seekers and start with that, so you don't get overwhelmed, and just read those. And try not to do the Ordains. Zeta, is it the Ordains that are in like complete, like that crazy language that?
Yeah, the old English, like thee must not go doth hither yon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I speak like that daily.
So I highly suggest not the Ordains, because they're a little archaic. That's how I remember them. Maybe I'm wrong, but the Ordains are a little more
Ordinary.
ordinary. Look at you. What?
Say hi.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Forrest. Forrest is our youngest attendee to the Threads of Wisdom. And I hope that Daddy is gonna print out those cards he gets and lets him look at them and teach him like flashcards. That might be a good idea.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the point.
Good. Hi, Forrest. Oh, I love hearing the kids say my name. So,
Hi, Lola.
bye, sweetie. Such a sweetie. I like in this where it says, guide our lives and our relations with our brothers and sisters, as well as those of other paths.
Right.
Here we go. Marcus, one of our responsibilities is to bring about balance in the universe with an infusion of positive intentions, at least to the best of our abilities. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying here. It says, and those of other paths.
Yeah.
And that means not just other paths outside of our belief system, but within our belief system, because that's where you get the witch wars and you get the ego and people saying, well, my tradition is better than your
everyone knows
tradition.
ours is the best.
Exactly.
Joking.
Is that, what do you think, that importance of our other paths? Respect other paths, right? That's important, right, you guys?
Everyone's path is their path.
Anyone want to speak on that, respecting other paths? Any stories you have about where, because I've got a lot, but.
I would just say that there is wisdom and there is knowledge also being passed along in other faiths that we can learn from and benefit from. And, we know what's best for our growth, our soul's growth. So we can take, the best or what it is that works for us, and we can leave, what doesn't.
Exactly.
There's something to learn from there. So you don't want to block yourself out from it.
And you don't want to be disrespectful, because isn't that all that we've been fighting for as witches, is to have the respect? So why would we disrespect other people's beliefs? Right? It makes no sense. And the reason why this comes up is because I have been around people, not anymore, but I have been around people who were so into their witchiness and their witch that they hated all Christians. They were like, yeah, Christians. And I'm like, wait a minute, dude. And you know what I mean? That's, you can't do that.
You see that with atheists sometimes too. I've experienced that with people who are very staunch atheists, and I'm like, it's okay to feel the way you want to feel, but you ain't got to make other people feel like they're less than.
Yeah, exactly. So And we have to practice that, and sometimes that's hard to do because there's all kinds of beliefs, but you got to remember, we look at different beliefs sometimes and we go, wow, that shit is cray. But then I'm like, I'm sure they look at our beliefs and go, oh, that shit is cray. Like,
Right?
For real, you have 8,000-year-old deity coming through you.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I know it sounds unbelievable, but so that's the first one. So it's good to read these because there's such good message. I'm gonna do another one, you guys, because that was really fun actually. God, watch me end up teaching Wiccan law because I enjoyed this so much.
Never let your cup become full.
That is one in here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna do number 2 and put it in the chat and we can talk about it.
I don't mind the Wiccan
laws.
The Wiccan laws. I read them and I get them.
It's not that I don't get them.
No, but I enjoy the wordiness of them.
Just I'm very smart. Okay, let's read. I sound like Cher. Give due to worship to the gods and obey their will as it is revealed to you. True worship is good for both the Wicca and the gods. The gods love the Wicca, and through their worship shall we better know them and our inner selves. All right. So I want to hear, what do you think besides me and Zeta? And I'm just saying me and Zeta right now. We can answer later, Zeta, but I want to hear what everyone else has to say. And so they're quiet and they wait for me and Zeta.
It's the interrelational thing. One doesn't exist without the other.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a different way of the cakes and ale celebration, the part of ritual.
Oh, that's interesting. Anyone else want to tackle this?
It reminds me of the final closing of our circles.
That's cakes and ale.
Yep, cakes and ale. Yep.
Well, no, not just the cake and ale, but more of the may gods preserve the crafts preserve the gods.
Preserve the gods. Yep, that whole part. Yep.
Yeah.
It does show how personal everyone's relationship is with the deity, also, because it's to obey their will as it is revealed to you. And so we're all it's revealed to us differently on our different paths at different times too. It's always evolving.
Yep, absolutely. So there's so much in these that is actually very important. I think my husband was right. I just don't like to be told what to do. If I learned these on my own and didn't have to get graded, I might have had a better relationship. But Kep is taking Wiccan law and he's loving it. So, and I think Zeta, you didn't mind it. I think maybe I just don't. Telling you, completing the seminary was a big deal for me.
I think it may have also just been the way that it was in the school setting for you, because I know I knew about them before. So I knew they existed and I'd read them. I just kind of did that whole I'm solitary. They matter, but it doesn't matter as much as if I were in a actual system, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what's
I think that was my mental gymnastics that I did at 16. They matter. I need to know them, but not that much.
So that's really interesting. Do you think that the Wiccan laws, or what we know about them in this group as a collective, even if it's just your first introduction to it, do you think that's more coven based and not really doesn't relate to solitary?
Well, maybe if you're working with a community, even if you're solitary,
yeah,
because it says brothers and sisters in a bunch of them,
yeah,
and it reaches out to those.
Yeah, I think if you're solitary and you're not really running, I mean, obviously some of them do, because it does say as well as the other paths, but that's just the respecting the other paths.
Yeah.
So solitary, you're not running across any other witches, which back in the 90s was kind of how it ran. You may do occasional chat room or whatever, but it wasn't the same as it was now. Because even now, if you're going onto a forum, then I would think it would matter a little bit more. But these seem to be less known, quite frankly.
Well, I've just found from experience, the only way I really learned about them was, I mean, I knew that I had seen them a little bit before, but I did not really, they were never brought up until I joined a coven. That is when that, for me, personally. Does anyone else want anything to say on that? I'm going to do another one. Oh, here we go, Marcus. I have to say that this is why I love these meetings and so glad that I found you all. In Toltec shamanism, there is not a lot of focus on the gods and goddesses, even though they had their gods. I love the Wiccan theology. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's awesome.
It was more spiritual ancestry, wasn't it, Marcus?
With shamanism.
Ancestral.
Yeah.
I've taken classes on Wicca before, and I've never seen this stuff before.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what is this?
Well, this is, for some people, the drier stuff that you don't see right away. Once you get a little further in the path, you start acquiring or coming across it.
I find that interesting that they don't teach. Maybe here's a nice plug for the Wiccan seminary, because if you want to, they teach it at the Wiccan seminary because we're studying to be in Wiccan clergy.
Yep.
So these are important to know in clergy work. I would think. What do you think, Cap? You're in the school right now. Would you agree with that, or do you give us your take on that?
Yeah, I agree. But it's like the first time I was ever exposed to these laws was also just from going through the seminary. So it was presented to me like in that fashion. This was like, something that we should learn because of the path that we've chosen for our lives.
Yeah.
So it's like you can take that and do with it what you will. You can teach your children. You can teach, your community through example of living these.
Yeah.
So, and it is like it's awesome. I really love the class. I haven't seen these laws in particular though since my first year, so it's really cool to look at this.
It's a nice refresher. Absolutely. Trust me. I'm sorry, what was that? What are you looking at?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
The next one, I think it's 18.
18?
Because we reflect on it really hard. If
Let's
I
look
remember
Let's look at 18. My husband's actually giving a suggestion. He liked the laws, and I like him as we're talking about them like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good one. All right, well, we have time for one more that we're gonna.
Yeah. It's a large one.
It's a large one.
Yeah, this one, the first time I went through the Ordains, spoke to me, and it was one that I really had to reflect upon, and it's one that I still continue when I go through these that I always stop at. And so give yourself a couple minutes to read this one, because this one's a little in depth.
Yeah, I'll read it out loud, and you guys can read along with me. Perform your art as a daily celebration and honoring of the goddess and the gods. Do not profane Wicca through a show of pride or vanity, and practice with care not to give the appearance of a show of power or an attempt to oppress others, as the effect will always result in the opposite. By your deeds and actions will you be best known and honored. Your art is sacred, even if some cannot or will not see. Remember that in time the gods show themselves to all, even though only the earnest may notice. Allow no one to detract from or denigrate your sacred beliefs your sacred beliefs. Avoid the futility of defending your beliefs through the attack of the belief of others. Use your heart and your straightest talk to politely yet firmly correct such inaccuracies and slights as you may experience, keeping an orderly mind and avoiding passion and excitement, which may lead to indiscretion. Okay.
I said wordy, but
you gave me the wordy one as the last one. Because we would have to break this down, and I don't want to do it any disservice, but what is the general feeling, interpretation you get from that? Because there's a lot there.
Yep.
So what stands out to you there?
Use your mind, not your
For me, it's the first part of it to me is about not letting your ego take over.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of bragging about what you're doing or what Wicca is or any of that. It's just
because being a witch is kind of cool, right? I'm not gonna, and I see why it goes ego, because we can manipulate energy and make things happen. So we have to be humble about why we do it. If we're doing it just to get the accolades, then we're in this for the wrong reason.
It's kind of funny to me.
Go ahead, Dan. I got Daniel and Zeta. Daniel, go ahead.
Kind of reminds me more like the first half is like kind of like walk the walk. Kind of one of the things that stuck out to me was that your deeds will be known in what you do type. So it reminded me of the walk, but it also it's emphasizing that while you may come across inaccuracies, don't attack another person's religion because they're attacking yours, but address the inaccuracies in a polite manner without attacking their religion. So say, for example, Christians, oh, you're a devil worshiper. Don't attack the Christian religion. Address the actual misunderstandings of our religion without going and stooping to the level that they are.
Yeah.
Hold yourself to a higher level than they are.
Because we are. People look to us, especially if we're in clergy or we're in leadership or we're teaching like I am right now. We need to still, yes, we can have fun and whatnot, but we also need to know that if we want this to have a good reputation, even if you're a solitary practitioner and people know, they're going to look at the deeds you do and how you do them and how you treat, and it's going to reflect upon your religion. Especially your faith, we want people to be accepting of us, so we need to be very aware of how we treat others and all that. Anyone else want to?
Zeta, what were you saying?
Zeta?
I was saying the first part is sort of that, like, almost rebuttal to the people who do you're a witch, you do magic. Well, why don't you conjure up $1,000 right now? Why don't you tell me what's going to happen tomorrow? And you go, no, because that would be pride and vanity. Like, I can't do it that way. That's not how it works.
No.
And I agree with the second bit that, like, the defending your beliefs and stuff, you don't stoop to their level. You're supposed to keep a level head and just factually put out the information, even when people are like, no, it has to be the devil. You're worshiping the devil. And you're like, no, it's actually a horned god, and he may have an appearance like that, but that's kind of by design.
He's actually a pretty good dude. I kind of like
got to know him. You'd see.
Not that bad. Yeah. Anyone else want to talk what they think that? Welcome, Penny. I see you joined us. We're just talking about I don't know if you're familiar with Wiccan laws and all that. The Ordains. Anyone else want to talk about that?
I would offer something. It's just that I agree with what everybody is saying so much, so I don't want to just like repeat what everyone is saying, but but there's a lot of truth coming out right now. I can hear it, like, you can recognize a spiritual truth when someone speaks it. So I'm grateful for that.
And it's true, yeah. It's
you can smell through people's bullshit.
Well, there's spiritual truths in everybody's belief, and that's what that kind of, to me, speaks to. You have so much that you can learn when you come from a place where you're trying to understand rather than judge, or place things in a certain order of this is more important than this. Because like I said, one of my favorite classes in college was sociology of religion, because you got to find out so many things about other religions that you never had any idea.
Yeah.
Like the Amish was fascinating. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize all that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be learned when you take the time to come from a place of understanding and learning rather than attacking and needing to make yours be better.
Well, and I think that these were also made, and that's an excellent way to state that, Ariel. And I also think that these ordains and these quote unquote guidelines or rules, whatever you want to call them, laws, they are given to us in a way. What I like about it is they're given to us in a way that still lets us hold ourselves accountable.
Right.
There's nothing in these that says, if this happens, it's because you didn't do enough Hail Marys, or if this happens, it's because you didn't go to Coven on Sunday, or if it says it's about taking responsibility, and it's not just this particular Wiccan law we just went over. Overall, it's about taking self-responsibility and keeping that going in a way that's healthy and educational, and we lead by example. So we need these, even though, like I said, I think I had a bias, and there's a little bit of it still that says I don't want a religion telling me what I can and cannot do. This really isn't saying that. It's saying it's highly suggested, like you said.
Yeah, like I said, it's the orange speed sign when you go into a curve. It's not the white sign that you get a ticket for.
Yeah. Some have wandered off the path and some have taken folks to the road, but people are exactly where they need to be at this time. And then, yeah.
Right? Everybody's got
We should never say our way is better because it might not be for someone else. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. If anyone watched our Witches and Wine, shameless plug. We had Janet Farrar and Gavin Bone, and she said witchcraft isn't for everyone. And then,
nor should it be.
And then I took that to another level when I was talking to my husband later. Clergy, Wiccan clergy, isn't for everyone. Leadership in your Wiccan or pagan beliefs isn't for everyone, and that's okay. But if you have a calling, these are really good to help you figure out how you can apply them to your personal life, and maybe, hey, to someone else when you don't have the answer. Check out this one. This says it pretty good, and this is what it means.
Hey, I'd go read number 32. Come back to me next week.
All right, so
clearly Silent has a love for the laws.
So we're gonna do this. So you go to me. Not me. You go to a tarot reader right now today. You go. I just need a 1-card draw, and that's gonna explain to me what I need to do. And the tarot reader draws the Ordains card. What do you think that means for you right now today? What does this mean?
Self-reflection.
Self-reflection.
Follow the rules.
What was that, Ariel?
Take heed and follow the rules.
Take heed and follow the rules.
Look inward and find that balance.
Look inward and find that balance.
I see the mirror, and it kind of reminds me of self-reflection, but then the scale is telling you to find the balance within yourself.
Yep.
As well.
I must find balance within myself. This is the big one. For me personally, if I got this, it would be read your Ordains. Look into them a little more, because I know for me personally, as of today, right now, this minute, they still are a little intimidating to me. But after doing this, you guys, and then maybe this is why this was supposed to happen for me, is I actually had a really good time going over these with you guys. I found some fun in it. What else? Anyone else want to say if you got this card as a draw today?
For me, it would kind of be like lawyer up, but in the sense of like, you need to go and be your own like advocate on that. Know your laws, know your rules, and abide by them to the best of your ability. And if this card came up, it would be like, and it's time to revisit those and make sure that you are owning your stuff and abiding by the ones you say you follow.
Yep. Agatha, you were saying?
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's-
was gonna say
yeah.
for me, it's telling me that I need to take a look at myself and tell me that I need to get into balance because I don't even know what these rules are that I'm supposed to be living by. So I need to get with it.
A lot of people didn't know this. This is new to Ariel.
Yep, brand new.
Brand new, and again, this doesn't mean you get, this is just, obviously this is something that is touched upon for those who want to, I think, really want to go deeper into their Wiccan system and stuff.
It's just a reminder there's always more.
There's always more to learn.
Always.
I thought it was weird when I first saw these. I'm like, I thought we didn't have 10 commandments. This was the first thing we said.
We got 161.
Well, and it's weird because when you really look at the Ordains, you find that a lot of them are common sense.
Yeah.
And we had a discussion in the class that I was at, is that some of them are like repetitive, and they kind of have 3 laws that all say basically the same thing, and they could be put into one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost fine tuning of those in some of the sections.
And I wonder how much of it is just our primate brains that like to go, I've read that, I know it.
Yeah.
What was that again?
Yeah.
If you have the repetition, you're more likely to actually remember the important part of that.
Yep.
That's why on the Wiccan Read it comes down to that final line where it says, "And ye harm none, do what ye will." It like presents it as, us and like all of it added up together, that this is the message that we're expressing to you. So
Right.
Absolutely. So before I share the card, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up. Sorry.
A sexual innuendo if I wrap it up.
So I will share the card here in just a minute, but I do want to remind people that yes, we are officially a church. We are a church underneath the ATC. Ariel's laughing because I do the same spiel, but
We're a federally recognized 501c3
no, I just say fake it till you make it.
church that has nonprofit status.
Yeah. So if you would like to donate to Children of the Crossroads so we can bring these more, keep continuing what we do and what we're going to do when we get in person. Here's how you can donate. If we have helped facilitate a spiritual experience for you today, please consider donating to Children of the Crossroads ATC. To help fund events like this, your gifts of any amount are greatly appreciated, and donations may be tax deductible, as we are a 501c3 nonprofit. And like I said, we've got PayPal and Venmo. They're at the bottom in white. I don't know why it is, but also we are affiliate of the ATC, so I put their donation information as well. They are our mother church that we donate to. They do a lot for us covens, and I will put their information as well. Again, no pressure. Anything you can donate helps us out, you guys.
It is appreciated.
And it is very appreciated. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share the card in the chat. And you guys are going to see if hopefully you can download it. I know there's a couple that have a hard time with that, but that's okay.
And if you're not able to download it, go ahead and add your email into the chat, and we will make sure we get it emailed to you.
Yes, we'll email the graphic, and I'm really good about it. I actually do it immediately after we leave the call because I want to make sure you get your Pokédex.
Your Wiccadex.
Wiccadex.
It's the Wiccadex.
Pokédex.
Wicca Pokédex, so you can collect them all.
You can't trade them because if they don't attend, you don't get it.
They don't get them unless they attend.
Right. No trading. No trading.
No trading. No trading. All right, hold on, you guys. Again, this is my technical side going. Why? I cannot wait till we're in person.
We'll get better.
All right, you guys. Please click on the picture and let me know if you're able to download it. Actually, let me know if you cannot download it.
Because we will be erasing it.
We erase it as soon as everyone leaves the call.
Because only the people that attend get to keep the card.
I caught mine.
You got, okay.
I caught mine. It's in a Pokeball now. Or a Wicca ball, whichever one.
Why is it not like me this week?
There
There we go. Picky little beast.
Yeah, sometimes you guys can't. Agatha can't.
That's week in, week out. We have issues with Agatha.
Yeah,
so.
it's okay. Sometimes I can't.
I like to always check to make sure it actually went where I told it to as well.
All right. Put your addresses, Marcus.
We have.
I have Morgan's. Marcus, put your email. I'll email it to you.
So, fun tidbit for Wicca trivia, if anyone is interested in. It's not necessarily gossip. It is just facts of the founders of the religion. Is Doreen Valiente was not actually a fan of the Ordains either. So if you are not a fan, you are not alone. She kind of felt that, and I wish I remembered the source with this, but it came about through something. But like she felt that Gardner kind of presented these at one point to restrict the power of the high priestess.
Yes.
Like you set it up as like, we're going to put a woman in charge. And then went, wait a minute, I don't like that.
Well,
all your power comes from men.
Because when Ariel was reading it, she found an older copy, and she said it seemed very restrictive to the priestess. So that's interesting.
Yes. That's the Ordains, the ARD.
It seemed to come about at a point, because it does, I think there was a point where one of them says, like, the priestess should be, you know, like, the epitome of, like, fertility and
beautiful.
It's like she got a little older, and so he went, now it's time for you to step down.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, what the fuck?
I bet that's the Ordains.
Trade in the new model.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. Did everyone else get their image?
Yes, ma'am.
Cap, you got yours?
Yeah, I have it. Thank you.
Oh, good.
You know, I was noticing that you were holding a deck in your hands of like printed out. Do you sell the deck itself?
No. We actually had it made for us by Trish.
He knows Trish. Trish, your teacher.
Yeah.
Made us a
she
copy.
She made me these.
And
those are beautiful.
Isn't it? She went through a lot of work. She sent these to me. She's
awesome, by the way. If anyone's ever met her.
She cut out the little images. She laminated them. She put this adorable, like what they do, the Golden Grove, they actually have, I believe, tarot cards or cards like this. You'd have to look it up. That she put the little threads that's on the back. And she gave them to me because you know Trish.
She goes, I have met Trish.
Oh, you have met Trish. Oh yeah, I was like, you know, yeah. Cap, she because I was questioning myself as a high priestess and as a teacher, and I felt I was going through a bad day, and she read my thing, and then she messaged me and said, I'm sending you a present to get you back into teaching. And this is what inspired me. She sent this to me in like November or December or November of last year.
Yeah,
or in the fall of last year. And this is what influenced me to start doing the Threads of Wisdom. So
that is so awesome.
Isn't that nice? I love her. Penny, you have a question? Yeah, Trish is awesome. Penny, did you have a question?
I have been having all kinds of problems with Teams tonight. It won't even let me it won't let me respond to the chat at all. It won't let me download it. So
okay. Penny, what's
my
your
email from before?
The same one? I think I've got you. I know you're Penny Rowe. Yeah, I've got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Remember Penny Rowe and Morgan, because their emails aren't in here.
Yeah.
Can you remember that?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I'm going to stop recording. Hold on.
We will see everyone next week at the same bat time, same bat channel.